sleep with as many women as possible. That's what I was telling myself all throughout my 20s to overcompensate for an extremely painful breakup that I experienced when I was 18 years old. So let me take you back in time and tell you the full story. Back in 2013, I just finished high school. In high school, I had low self-esteem, no social status, a bad reputation, and was basically invisible to attractive girls. So by the time I finished high school, I made it my mission to change this area of my life. I didn't want to go another day not being able to feel confident and have success with the type of girls that I never experienced that with growing up. So what I did was that I got a job at a sleepaway camp that was totally in another area of the country than my high school. I decided that I was going to go there, completely reinvent myself, and embody and copy a lot of the behaviors that I watched from the popular kids in my school, the athletes, the jocks, the guys that were doing really well with women. I would talk the way that they talked. I would make the same jokes. I would carry myself in a similar fashion, same vocal tonality, same eye contact. Everything that I could copy from them, I did. Okay? Now, when I came to this camp, I decided I was going to completely reinvent my identity. It was a clean slate. Nobody knew me. And this is going to be my second chance at getting the dating life that I've always wanted. So that's exactly what I did, is that I started to mimic all the behaviors. And funny enough, I began to get attention. People started to become friends with me that were cool there. The girls became interested in me, and I was literally living my dream. I even was able to attract the most beautiful girl at that camp, and we began to date. Spent every night together, making out, having fun, getting intimate together. But pretty early on, this girl told me that she's a virgin. And she basically asked me the same question. She's like, hey, do you have any sexual experience? And because I was so embarrassed about who I used to be, about my past, I lied straight to her face. I told her, yeah, of course. Like, I was a huge player. I have all this experience. I know exactly what I'm doing. And it didn't bite me in the ass then, but it really, really hurt me later on. Okay? So what happened is that after lying to her straight up, I began to feel a lot of guilt. And that guilt made me overthink. It made me question myself. And by the end of that summer, she wanted to give me her virginity. You know, we were literally in love. We were so deeply connected. And I couldn't perform. The fear took over, the performance anxiety took over, and the lies that I was telling her got the best of me. We tried again, same thing. Couldn't perform. And by the end of that summer, I could tell that her interest was completely destroyed. Like, her interest was going from all the way up here to completely diminishing. And by the time I got home from that camp, I got a very long text, the classic text, saying, hey, Daniel, like, you're such a sweet guy. I had such a memorable summer with you, so many beautiful experiences that we shared, but I just don't think that we're gonna be able to keep seeing each other. I'm young, I wanna enjoy my time with other people. You know what that means. And that was it. And then I basically went on to chase her for the next year, texting her every day, calling her, leaving her voicemails, even emailing her, hoping that she would give me a second chance. But she didn't. Instead, she was likely having fun, going out with other guys who actually were authentic, who actually were confident, and enjoying herself with them. So that was what began my journey with dating and success with women. After that year, I realized that there was absolutely no chance that I'm gonna get back together with this girl, but the pain, the hurt that I experienced from that drove me like literally nothing else. I began to approach women. I began to dive deep into the rabbit hole of dating advice and seduction advice, and dedicated my entire 20s to this exact thing. I told myself that if I basically have enough practice with women, if I hook up with enough women, if I approach enough women, if I sleep with as many women as possible, the thing that I started this video with, that maybe one day I could get my dream girl, and that I'll know exactly what to do because I've had so much practice that she will not abandon me, that she will not reject me. But basically what happened is that I fell into a very dark cycle of addiction. There was a point where I got very good at approaching, but it became something that consumed me. I couldn't stop. I needed to keep doing it over and over and over again every single day. I needed to share with my friends the photos of the girls that I was dating. I needed to talk about it. I needed to feel validated through all these different girls that I was meeting. I joined different pickup groups, different communities where guys would boast and brag about the different women that they were dating. And it became literally my identity. I became the pickup guy. This became all that I knew. I started a company coaching guys on how to become extremely successful at dating women. But it wasn't up until the past couple of years that I really realized that the need that I had to conquest and to continue to pick up all these new women and go through the same cycle with a girl and the next girl and the next girl over and over and over again was because I was associating love with pain. The pain that I felt from that breakup is what drove me to keep going after the next girl and after the next girl. I told myself that if I just have this quote unquote abundance, that if I just have as many women as I want in my life, no one of these women could ever hurt me the way that that first girl did. But at the same time, by creating this fake shield of abundance, this fake idea that no one's ever gonna hurt me, I was actually hurting myself. I was numbing myself out to real, deep, meaningful connection. And I realized that my interactions, my relationships were incredibly shallow, that I didn't actually care about these women that I was approaching, that I was dating, and a lot of the time these women didn't really care about me. And it wasn't really until I started doing the deep inner work over the last 3-4 years that I didn't have some massive breakthroughs. I realized that what I actually want most, and why I even got into this whole thing in the first place, is because I wanted to find a high quality partner, somebody who I could build a life with, build a legacy with, have a family with one day. That's what got me into this in the first place. But somewhere along the way, I got distracted, I got addicted, and completely disconnected. And that's what I see with a lot of guys. So it's my mission that every client that comes into the Accelerator program, not only do I give them the elite skills that I developed over the past decade of approaching, connecting with women, attracting them, literally anytime, anywhere, but I also keep the North Star in my focus, that I show them that, look, it's not about just spending decades chasing and having a bunch of superficial pleasures. It's about harnessing this beautiful skill and this beautiful ability that you develop to ultimately attract your dream woman. This is what it's about. This is what's going to ultimately bring you the fulfillment, is to be able to go from having no options in your dating life, settling, wasting time on dating apps, to mastering the skill of approaching, but not stopping there. Taking it to the next level and using this skill to find your dream woman and building a healthy, secure relationship with her. So if you're a guy that's doing very well for himself, you're making at least $150,000 a year, and you need help with building the skill, but you also maybe don't want to just chase for the rest of your life. You want to eventually have a high quality partner. What I invite you to do is click the link below, check out our 7-minute documentary, apply, book in a call with me, and let's chat. I'll see you soon.